Hi, I'm Crystal, and in today's video, we are back with another I have no idea what I'm doing style quilt that uses up our scraps. For this tutorial, you don't need to know quilters math as I will walk you through it. And if you missed the first one, the link for that video will be down below in the video's description. I keep all of my scraps separated by collections, but once they get low enough, then I'll throw them into a catch-all tub. My scrap bin currently has a buttload of charm packs, aka 5-inch squares, and I still have a ton of background fabric leftovers. And getting started with our scraps is just a matter of picking something out of the pile and start with it. And since I have a bunch of 5-inch squares that I want to get rid of, I will be focusing on them throughout this quilt. At this time, I have no idea what I'm going for, but I do have these background 5-inch squares that I accidentally cut too much for a previous quilt project. So what I'm going to do is take all of the background 5-inch squares and match it with a print 5-inch square to create half square triangles. To do so, you're going to draw a line on the wrong side of the fabric from corner to corner with a fabric marking tool. Then place the two right sides together and sew a 1/4-inch seam allowance on both sides of the line that you just drew. Take fabric scissors or a rotary cutter and cut along the line to create two half square triangles. I will square this up to a 4.5-inch square. And then I'll repeat this to all of my background 5-inch squares just to use them all up. For my beginners that don't understand quilt math, this is my first and most important tip, and that is take a notepad out and on the side write down these measurements so you can keep track. And I would write half square triangles, 4.5-inch squares. Then with all of my half square triangles, you can then start playing around with your blocks. Create stars, diamonds, or other shapes like this chunky X pattern. But once again, I have a lot of 5-inch squares that I want to use up. And since I ended up with 24 half square triangles, I randomly picked a number, 4, thinking 24 half square triangles divided by 4 is 6. Now, what can I create with 6 half square triangles in a single block? So I would end up with 4 quilt blocks. Now, depending on your scrap sizes, my 4 blocks could be your 20 blocks. I only did 4 blocks because 24 half square triangles really isn't that much. Then to save some time off camera, I spent a while playing with the 6 half square triangles and my other 5-inch squares. And what I came up with was a large bearpaw style quilt block. Now, since our half square triangles are 4.5-inch squares, we need to trim the 5-inch squares to match the half square triangles. So that means I will take the 9 5-inch squares and trim them down to the exact same size. For the corner, I had some background fabric laying around in the same color, and I cut a 4.5-inch square as well. Then I'll sew all of the blocks together into rows, and then lastly sew the rows together to complete my quilt block. And here are my 4 blocks all completed. Then once again, off to the side on your notepad, measure your block and put paw block is 16.5-inch square. You can also add the single print 5-inch squares, then turned into 4.5-inch blocks as a couple more extra notes. But moving forward, a bearpaw quilt block has a center square in the middle. Now I could use one 5-inch square because the bearpaw block that I made is pretty big. It seems a little funny to have like one single small 5-inch square in the middle. It's perfectly fine, but once again, I have a ton of 5-inch squares. So then I got to thinking, what about a 9-patch quilt block? Because there is a 9-patch block within that paw block. So I got my 5-inch squares out and started playing with the prints. And this was when I realized that I didn't have a wide variety of mixed prints left over. So I started playing with the pattern using up the prints that I did have. Now I could sew these 5-inch squares together to avoid zero waste, but I'm going to make this beginner friendly when it comes to the quilt math, which means we are going to trim these squares to match our other squares in the paw block and the half square triangles, which once again are 4.5-inch blocks. And this is why we keep that notepad on the side, because then you can go back and look to see what each thing was. Just in case, you had to step aside or you stopped sewing that day, and then now it's the next day and you're going back to your project. Next, I went to lay out my bear paw block on the table, and between my paws, it is a very large open space, and I still have 5-inch squares that I can use up. But once again, I was struggling just a little to come up with a design because I had lost the variety of mixed prints. So I stood there and shuffled everything around, and I ended up liking the darker floral print on both sides, but I was missing like a few squares in the same print. So I dug out my scraps and looked around, hoping I had some smaller pieces I could cut into squares without wasting the larger backing scrap pieces that I have. And luckily I did. So between each paw block, I am going to add this scrappy stripe. So I will need 4 blocks to create. And looking at our notes, we need to once again match our squares to the exact same size, which are 4.5-inch squares. I'm going to trim those off camera, but before I got to thinking, what could I put between the paw block and that scrappy row? And I had some background rectangles, which are way too short sadly, but I used them as an idea and I ended up loving it. So after I sewed the scrappy rectangles together, I made sure both my paw block and the rectangles were the exact same length at 16.5 inches long. This means the background strips I need to cut will be 16.5 inches long. Then to figure out our width, remember we created a 9 patch and each block was 4.5-inch square. So this means this rectangle unit I am working with technically needs 3 pieces across, just like our 9 patch. So I will need to cut 4.5-inch by 16.5-inch rectangles. So that way it will be a background, then our scrappy rectangle, and a background, which means 3 across, just like our 9 patch. And once again, this is how to make it all beginner friendly by keeping our blocks the exact same size even as we expand on our quilt. So now I'm going to sew everything together, and once it's sewn, I'm going to write down that block size, which is now a 12.5-inch by 16.5-inch rectangle. I've created the 4 blocks, and here is my layout so far. And that is 2 paws with the rectangle in the middle, then 2 rectangles with the center 9 patch, and then for the bottom, 2 paws and the center rectangle. And I'm going to sew everything together into rows, and then lastly sew the rows together to complete a 44.5-inch square. Now you could stop here, but many of y'all enjoyed the scrappy border from my last video, so I'm going to do that here. And let's use up some binding strips leftovers, and I cut my binding into 2.5-inch wide strips. And after playing around, I thought of the width of the rectangles I just created, cut a piece of binding scraps the same width, which was 12.5 inches long. Then the background scraps will be the same size as the bear paw block, and since my binding is 2.5-inch wide, the background scraps will then be 2.5-inch by 16.5-inch wide. And since we need corner pieces, I will use more of the binding scraps. And once again, my width was 2.5 inches. And we need a square for the corner piece, so that means I will need 4 2.5-inch squares since we have 4 corners. So I'm going to go ahead and sew all of that together, which means I will need 2 pieces for the left and right sides, which are background, print, background. Then for my 2 borders on the top and bottom, it would be a print square, background, print, background, and lastly a print square. So I'm going to attach all of that to my quilt, and here is what that quilt looks like all complete. Today's project is getting pretty big, so I'm going to add one more border, and going through my scrap bin, I went through everything and landed on the light blue feather print. Now I've had these very long strips from when I created backing fabric, and then I quilted my quilt and then trimmed off the excess. And luckily I have 4 of them that are pretty long, and since I have 4 sides, I measured all of the 4 scrap pieces and trimmed everything to the exact same size, which I was able to yield a 5.5 inch border. And once everything was trimmed up, I added the final border, and I ended up with a 58.5 inch square size quilt, all from using all of my scraps. Well, technically I did have to cut the 4.5 inch by 16.5 inch background rectangles, but when it comes to solid fabrics, I'm okay with that, as they're a lot more affordable. Now I do have some sad news. For today's video, this is where I have to end it, as this week we've had severe thunderstorms, floods, and tornadoes. A couple of tornadoes have touched down, which is extremely rare where I live, as we live in the Hill County, Texas area, and along the rivers, houses are even completely underwater. Now my husband and I, plus close friends, are safe. The only issues we've had is our background turned into a pond. We've had several power outage and a leaking roof, which that was a lovely experience sleeping at night and all of a sudden water is literally smacking you in the face. Plus, if you do live in the area, I do hope you and your family are all safe as well. However, do make sure you're subscribed because I'm actually going to custom quilt this quilt, and I'll have a video showing the entire process about that once I get that all completed. And I do hope you have enjoyed this tutorial on using up your scraps without knowing the quilt math. And if you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.